Hey guys,
Hello everyone.
we're live with Chapati laying down nearby. So, as you may see, we found this decision to unfold our sofa so we have more place. And Chapati also joins us, so we are happy. So, yeah, nice to meet everyone. Hello, Sharat.
Hello guys.
Hi everyone who's
Thanks
joining
for
us.
joining us. I guess today's
Oh, trouble with loading video.
yes. Oops.
What's the reason for that?
I don't know, maybe some troubles with connection.
Done. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Fresh.
Hello. What's the reason for that? We're losing connection.
Check the speed maybe?
I think everything's supposed to be fine. I don't know.
Yeah, now it looks like it's working.
Hey guys, can you see us?
Is everything fine?
Are there any troubles? Okay. Thank you, Jackie.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for
So
being with us this
let-
day.
let-
So
let-
this stream probably will have a lot of information because this week was very special to us, but not in a good sense special, in a bad sense.
Let's call it intense. It was an intense week, and like so many things happened. And let's start from the very beginning.
Yep, so I would compare this week maybe even probably to the first weeks of war when we were so shocked with the news, when this news at times paralyzes you, you can do nothing, you cannot do your everyday job. All you can do is read the news, watch analytics all day long because it's now actually about our survival, which is threatened more and more and more and more each day.
So let's start from the very beginning. And the beginning of this story was in the beginning of September, when Ukrainian forces had a counter-offensive operation in Kharkiv region, and we managed to take back our lands over there. So almost the whole region was liberated. We pushed Russians back, and they actually ran away from our army, like leaving all the machinery, all the heavy weapons, stealing regular cars from people just to survive. She wants to play with something. And after...
Yeah, and maybe some of you might remember that the stream, which was
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, I've told about our wins, but I've told that I'm a bit afraid to be very happy. I'm afraid to feel too positive about everything because I realized that after our wins, Russia has to react because they don't want to lose.
And they reacted. Like Putin and his generals, they saw that they are losing this war because they lost one of the most important regions, and other significant things happen on the battlefield. They also have these losses. Our army counterattacks. We are taking back our territories in different regions, and it may lead that Putin's army will be destroyed or it will run away completely. So, as we told you many times, Putin can't afford to lose this war, because like losing this war means losing everything for him. He's like a leader, yeah. He's the father of the nation. he assumed that he can take Ukraine in few days or maximum weeks, and he's losing, yeah, because of the bravery of our army, of the support of the whole world. And this became evident for many, many people. And what Putin did, what he didn't do before that, and like he was afraid to do that. So he said, declaimed massive mobilization. Of course, in the Russian propaganda, they call it partly mobilization, and
Because they never name things in the terms the other world uses.
yeah, and they reduced numbers. They officially said drastically. They said about 300,000, but intelligences of the world said that it is more than a million people. So more than a million people gonna be mobilized in Russia during next months. It's gonna be, of course, in some waves. So in last few days, they managed to mobilize more than 100,000, and those people are going to some kind of training center and then to the battlefield. But they did it, and it's sad to admit, but Russians as people, they go to the front line like lambs who are going to be killed. So they don't have any knowledge or experience. They are mobilized to fight for nothing, but they do it. And we can hope that one day some Russian regions start some like protests, but that may happen after first dead bodies of those mobilized will come back to their homes. So for now mobilization started, and anyway it's gonna be trouble for our soldiers, for our country. Of course, we assume that we'll get more and more support from Western world in terms of weaponry, as we need it right now even more, because we lacked some of that, especially tanks, especially anti-missiles systems, some kind of aircrafts, of course. It's a big problem here in Ukraine. But we managed to fight with all what we had, and we did quite good. What's gonna be next, nobody knows, but we need that supply. We need even more support. Otherwise, I mean, we don't, like, do you know, I'm not sure we told you about that, but our ammunition, Soviet era produced weapons, and especially not the weapons themselves, but supplies for them. So we actually used all of that right in the beginning of April. So we had only 2 months supply to fight on our own. Because
projectiles? Shells?
Shells, yeah. Shells, probably. So we used our Soviet era shells in the first months of war. And Russia has like 1,000 or 100 times more than that, and we didn't have it. So if we haven't got this Western support, we probably lost this war till summer. It was just not possible for us to fight as we didn't have shells. So right now we're 100% rely on everything we are supplied from Western world, and we needed much more. So this is the reality after mobilization. Of course, it doesn't mean that we lose this war. Of course, we just need more weapons, more people to fight. Also, we also will have mobilization, but it's our only possibility as we are fighting for our land, for our lives, for our freedom.
And the second bad stuff is that during his speech about mobilization, Pudler did also threaten the world with nuclear weapon again. And as for now, many of our experts, many experts around the world, now have started to consider this possibility very real and possible. Some would even say that some nuclear attacks could come to Ukraine in the nearest few weeks. Of course, it's...
Tell the reasoning, how Putin reasoned that.
Please, could you please tell that? Because, I just... when I see some inconsistency in logics, I'm getting mad. I cannot understand how that could work for...
So
for
the
their
same
propaganda.
day he announced this mobilization, he also announced pseudo referendums on the territories they already conquered. So what they are doing, they are just annexing those territories and say, okay, these territories are now. So if you fight them, reconquer them, take them back, we consider it as an attack on Russian territory. And their war doctrines, like official documents they have, it is said that we can use nuclear weapons to defend our territories and sovereignty of Russia. So what they want to do, basically, just take these territories, they annex them, because all those referendums, they just draw those numbers, and those numbers are known right now. So in some region they said it's going to be 75% positive answers for joining Russia, and another is going to be 80, like in Lugansk or Donetsk, so 75, 80. So these numbers are already known and they're drawn. So
yeah, but these numbers, they are just taken okay, let's decide which percentage we'll give for this region, which percentage we'll give for this region.
Donbass must have more.
It's never a referendum
course.
Real life.
Of course.
It's just a fake, a very, very stupid fake, which only the people of Russia believe in.
Of course, they actually, how they do this, they make it a picture, a TV picture, so they bring some people from Russia, from Crimea, from Russia, like they have a few dozens of buses. It's very easy to do that. And then they put a camera, they line up these people, and they are walking, and they are having the Russian flags waving around with them, dancing, singing Russian songs, and then it's shown all over Russia. You see how many people are gonna join Russia? So the queues are so big on this referendum, so they film in 1-2 locations and that's it. So yeah, this is how it's happened. And then he just threatened, if you continue to fight, because they are losing, we are winning, if you continue to regain these territories, we'll attack you. And that's the point where we need whole solidarity and full support from the whole world. Because I may tell you the story how it happened in the 90s. Did you know that Ukraine had the second world's largest nuclear potential. Because like we were part of USSR, right? And we were on the borders with Europe, with Poland, and we were the second nation of USSR. So we had so many nuclear weapons. And of course, after USSR collapsed, those weapons were left in Ukraine. In 1994, Ukraine government signed a Budapest memorandum when we agreed to refuse from that weapons, and we got the support from 4 nations, which told that if you're ever attacked, you'll be defended by us, as you deliberately refused to have this nuclear potential and by refusing you made this world better, right? So this was USA, Great Britain, and Russia. Russia signed the document, but that document was a memorandum. It was not some kind of agreement, and it doesn't have any real power.
If it was an agreement and it had real power, I guess it would change nothing, because for Russia all this stuff doesn't matter.
Probably it mattered for USA or for UK, we don't know that. But anyway, we had these weapons. And now we're defenseless against nuclear weapons. And if they try to use it somehow, the whole world needs to react. Otherwise, what would happen otherwise? If there is no reaction, like strong, bold reaction, all the countries around the world who have nuclear weapon can threaten their neighbors and can win their wars with these nuclear weapons. Like, I don't know, like India, probably, like, if everybody can do this, why India can fight Pakistan with these weapons, right? Or China. With
everyone will understand that, okay,
like
no loss.
Like Israel can fight Iran, like anybody. And it's not how it's supposed to be, because you know that a nuclear weapon was designated to be a suppression weapon, just not to let anybody use it. Because if you use it, I use it. So this is like a not non-written agreement, just to calm everybody down. And if one country do this without punishment, it's gonna be a huge problem for the whole world. So right now I think that leaders from all over the world, especially from India, especially from China, because Putin is in counter with the Western world. He said that Western world fights him, but the position of China and India is the most important one, because those are only big countries who trade with Russia right now. And if their position is going to be really solid and bold, probably Putin will not do that. We don't know. But
yeah, so actually India and China are the last to stop Putin, because he already shows that he doesn't care what USA and what European Union tells. But India and China are now the only countries which he relies on.
Yeah. June wrote prisoners who were released this week had been badly treated. Yeah, I read that. I read this interview, and we are familiar with that. I mean, it's happened everywhere, and they definitely do this, all the like punishments and like this attitude towards prisoners, they do it for fun. our prisoners, 215 prisoners, it's the only great news, which was
during this week.
during
Yeah.
this week, but it was overwhelmed with everything else. So we had 215 of our prisoners brought back to Ukraine, and those prisoners of war mainly was from Azovstal and from Azov. So those people, officers, commanders, main commanders who defended Mariupol and Azov, Stal, they are back in Ukraine. It was done with the help of so many different people around the world, especially with the help of Erdogan, the president of Turkey. And yes, they're back, and we are so happy about that. And all of them were treated
That's my
bad.
phone.
All of them have like anorexia. They didn't have enough food. All of them have illnesses, injuries. Nobody treated them well.
Could you imagine there was one lady in prison who was pregnant and like perfect timing, but she gave birth to her child right in 2 days after.
It was today, actually.
Yeah, so after exchange. So she told that during this whole time they gave her maximum 2 apples per day.
Ever
A
since,
pregnant woman.
ever since she ate was,
2 apples a day for a pregnant woman.
yeah.
Yep. And regarding the overall situation, it's very hard now for us. It's very. We are kind of depressed because we understand that we are in a situation when we don't have a single good choice, because if our country loses, then our people will be murdered and our lands will be stolen. But if we win, he will just use nuclear weapon. And
Yeah,
what can we do?
it's a stalemate, and we can solve it. What we can do as a nation, as a power who fights for our land, is just to continue. It's our only option is to continue to take these lands back and to fight. And then the other story, what's happened next, it's all about the reaction of the politicians all over the world. And of course, regular people. So we just need this support. Everybody needs to understand that nuclear war will end our civilization. This is the war where nobody can win. Everybody will lose. So we need solidarity around the world, and we need for Putin to receive a strong statement about the reaction of the whole world. What's gonna happen if he decides to use these nuclear weapons?
Yeah, and all this, what happened during the last week, it shows us one more bad news for us. It's just the war is being prolonged for quite a time. So if if they don't have a military coup in Russia, or if the whole world is not just destroyed with, or Ukraine is not destroyed with nuclear weapon, it means that this war can last for a year more, maybe more than a year. Because 1 million of mobilized Russians is 1 million. Even if they don't have enough weaponry, but still the quantity is enormous.
Yeah, it is huge.
We are also getting some news that many more men in Ukraine should be mobilized because someone has to fight with this quantity of mobilized Russians. And for our family, it's also a big threat because Eugene can also be mobilized, and that's the biggest nightmare for me. Like I would better die because of the nuclear attack in a second, rather than experience this stuff when your beloved husband is being mobilized and has to.
Yeah, but so many families in Ukraine, they have it as a reality, sadly. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so not
not a great week.
a great week.
But again, it all depends on the whole world. Putin is, of course, is a crazy person, but if the whole world is united against him, he will not win this. So we just need to be absolutely sure that we can do whatever we can to stop him. Otherwise, it threatens everybody. It threatens all of you. It threatens our civilization. So yeah, the risk of nuclear war this week became more than ever in few dozens years.
Yeah, guys, I may see that there is totally only 10 people left here on the stream. So if you have any questions, please, that's the perfect timing because I think we will end up soon. Jessica is writing, have any countries agreed to send more military supplies, weaponry since this terrible announcement has been made?
Like, it's hard to answer this question 100% correct, as some officials, they say that we will support Ukraine as many as it is needed. But those are only words for now, you know. So yeah, of course, Biden, the president of US, told that he will not forgive this annexation of territories and those nuclear threats, and the answer of America gonna be bold and clear. And so our European allies, they also said that we will support Ukraine. So
by the way, today even Serbia told that they are not going to take all these referendums. And Serbia was used to be like Russia's biggest friend in Europe. And even they now don't want to admit, yeah, these referendums. Yeah, but it's also hard to answer this question because as for now, the whole world is a bit afraid of this psycho unstable person. So many of the help they send to us, they just don't uncover it for public. They do it kind of secretly.
We hope that.
We hope.
We don't know that for sure, of course. And also, I think that right now, these days, probably the whole world took a pause just to have some kind of consultation and to see what's going to happen next, just to work on their single decision and single answer, not to have, like, you know, small answers from different countries, but to find this solidarity and to answer collectively. So I hope for that, because right now, not that many reactions on what's going on in Russia.
Yeah. Vicky is writing, I'm at a loss for words. Love to you too, and Chapati. Thank you so much. Actually, we also felt wordless for the whole week because all what is going on, it's like it's a nonsense. It's a surrealism. It's like something you could never imagine that such madness can go can can happen in reality in the 21st century. Yeah, and I also what I wanted to tell is that we are going to go to a grocery store in the nearest days, maybe even tomorrow, and to squirrel lots of water and some dry food which can be kept without refrigerator because all this talks about Russia using nuclear weapon on Ukraine. Um, they show us that we should get prepared. Like in case if it's not a big nuclear bomb that will destroy whole Kiev just in a second, if it's a tactical nuclear weapon which goes to a smaller territory, but still it will have a great radiation effect. This means that we couldn't use tap water for a long time. This means that we cannot leave our apartment for at least 8 days. So could you imagine this life? We now have to read information on how to survive nuclear attacks. And yeah, so if that's a tactical one, then we'll have to stay at home for 8 days, at least, yeah, never opening the windows. And of course, there is a great risk that we'll have no electricity. So we have to get very well prepared because it's actually easier to face the huge nuclear attack when you will be vanished in a second. But surviving after nuclear attack might be a very big challenge, and we will try to get prepared somehow.
It's what we can do. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen, as I told you. Everybody is under threat. The whole Ukraine and other countries also, because, I don't know, because Putin is a real crazy person. And
yeah. Sorry, like I'm so nervous.
Just My fault. Give it to me.
Just give it to me. I will need it.
I'll read.
Mm-hmm.
I can read. Okay. If you're nervous. Please, China and India be very, very strong against the possible escalation. Jack is saying yes.
Yes, please, India and China. It's like there was time when you could think about your interests in having good prices for gas, but now there is the risk that civilization could not exist anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not a good time to make friends with this psycho anymore. It's not a good time.
June writes, let's hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, we do hope that it will not happen, but we made a decision. We will stock some water and food just to survive possible nuclear attack if it happens.
Yeah, at least water, because like 8 days without food, it's quite possible, but without water, it's not.
And of course, we are preparing in different ways to the hard winter, because we know that Russia will possibly attack the objects of critical infrastructure in Ukraine.
And this possibility is very high.
Yeah. It seems
so not possibly, but surely they will attack. It's just maybe they won't be successful.
Yeah.
But they will surely do that.
So we are preparing to live without worms, without our battery being supplied with hot water. So we are preparing to live without water, so we need like a huge stock of water, and we are preparing to live without electricity at least for some time, because like if it happens, uh, you need to be ready for that, at least in some ways. So we are hoping that it will not be the case, but it might be the case, and in some situations are very, very, very possible.
Yeah, so as for now, we cannot anymore guarantee you that we will always make our Sunday streams in time and that we will make them. That's
We will continue as soon as we can,
Yeah.
as long as we can. I
as
mean,
long as we can and as soon as we can.
yeah. Becky writes, "What an unbelievable world! Thoughts and love to you guys and all Ukrainians." Thank you, Becky. We also do rely on the United Kingdom. It's our great allies, and Liz Truss, being a prime minister, told that she's fully on the Ukrainian side and will do everything possible to help us. So it's very important for Ukraine. So thank you, and thank to your government and all people. Travel again to India? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. We can't leave the country. I can't leave the country. And also, in few days, it's been told that Russian men also will be prohibited to leave country because of mobilization. So
Yeah, so many people started to
run away,
run
to flee.
away from Russia.
So right now there are nightmares in their airports. So many people crowding over there, especially men, trying to go anywhere. All the tickets to countries were neighboring Russia, like Georgia, like Armenia, like Turkey, like Kazakhstan, like Mongolia, all of them are already sold out, and the borders between Russia and those countries, land borders, there are many kilometer queue to cross the border. So they are fleeing because they have few days left. The border is going to be closed. It's a challenge for them, but I mean, they brought to that. It's the result of their decisions. So yeah, if they want to change it, they need to act somehow or run away. But in a few days, it's not going to be a case anymore. So yeah, we were 40 minutes online. So let's hope that next week will bring better news. Let's see.
I would be happy even if we just have possibility to make a stream.
Let's see how the world reacts on these referendums. They are taking place, those pseudo-referendums taking place right now. And it is sad that probably on September 30, Putin and government of Russia gonna announce this annexation.
Thanks, Rahid. Rahid writes, stay safe, things are going to be better soon. We really hope that this can be like this.
So let's see what's gonna happen. We are here with you. We are of course taking care of Chapati. She's doing perfectly fine.
Luckily she doesn't know about all these threats.
Yeah, she has everything needed. She's surrounded with care and love. So yeah, she's okay, and thank you for being with us.
Jackie writes, thank you so much for educating all of us on your extremely difficult situation. I'm with you with all my heart. Thank you. I know that.
So thank you guys. It was a pleasure to be with you these 40 minutes. Let's hope everything's gonna be good. Let's support Ukraine, or just if you can, just spread the word about what's happening here. Keep educating other people so more people would know about what's happened here in Ukraine and what threats the world have. So thank you for being with us. As always, it's a joy.
Yes.
Hope to see you next week.